What's up, Lily Pyramid man? How you doing, y'all? So yeah, man. Uh, I'm not sure if people really effing me, bro. Uh, Apparently I'm mental, according to Valent Stream, but we're not gonna talk about that. But it is what it is, man. I'll start with myself if I have to. People don't pull up. And I'll just have a separate stream for basically the same topic with like other people. And basically, discussion if is basically if the dark series are overrated. Do they make or break a series? Can they make a series better? Etc. Just dark series in general. Pretty much. I got the idea from Colin and some other people that's in Chevy's Discord, some other people that's in my Discord, and yeah, man. So let's get into this. Well, I try to send out the link to a couple more people. Hold on. Going through emotions, bloody emotions. I'm trying to play my intro, bro. I just died, but I should have played my intro at the beginning. I'm effing up, bro. Let me see something. How does computer camera look? Oh, that camera is not it. Hold on.
I'd say that was a pretty solid angle.
Yeah. Did I say what's? Hold on. I don't think I said what is up, little people in there, man. How you doing, y'all? Damn, I'm effing up today, bro. I haven't been in the best mood. But the show must go on.
Mm, I get that. I get that.
Yeah, man. Pretty. Yo, what's up, Jay Wolf? Pretty dark stuff, man. Pretty dark stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we let's hold up. Okay, let's start first off. Whoa,
Yo, what is
yo,
that?
red sniper, bro, red sniper.
I
What?
swear.
Yo,
What?
Ty, yo, chill, bro.
I'm so confused. So
it's
what's your?
it's a it's a legend, bruh. It's somebody who's known to.
Oh yeah, I remember that
Yes.
Yo,
stream.
mute
I
your
remember
mic
that
real quick,
stream.
bro. Mute your mic real quick. Hold up, I got you, bro.
What?
Bro, mute your mic real quick.
Okay.
I don't know what's
Oh
going on. I
wow.
don't know what's going on with that nigga.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with your mic, bruh, but it's mad
How's it
static on
sound
it.
now?
Bro, Mike D trash, man. Mike D trash.
How does it sound now?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
you
it's
you
better.
Gucci, bro. You good now?
All right. Yeah, like
Okay,
I didn't know what
so
y'all was talking about.
this what's up? Hold on, let me turn my volume. What you said?
I said I didn't know what y'all was talking about for a second.
Nah, man. Uh, we weren't talking about anything. I just basically started off the stream, and basically, for example, a bad example of a dark series is a Comic Got Killed. It's one of them series that's just trying too hard to be dark, you know, and then it's just characters die before you even really get to care about them, and it's just like for shock value. I'm guessing that's what happened with season 8 of Game of Thrones, the last season. I never watched Game of Thrones, so I wouldn't know. But
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I didn't
with
watch it.
Game of Thrones, it was a little bit different because more than just the darkness. In fact, like some people they complain about the darkness literally because during the war against the White Walkers, they said there wasn't enough lighting. Like it was too dark to see what was going on. So
Gotta have that bad CGI, man.
I'm telling you.
dang.
So, but no, but the thing is, for Game of Thrones, right? They say it's mostly the gore and the fact that characters pay for the wrong decisions that they make. That's what made Game of Thrones so appealing to so many people because you have so many stories, right, where the main character usually whatever he does, he gets away with it, right? Because he's the main character. He can't
Got that plot
nothing can
armor.
happen. Exactly, that plot armor is solid,
Yo, I
but
thought Ned Stark had the strongest plot armor of all time.
That's what I could see with a good thing about Dark series a lot of times. 'Cause a lot of times, like no one has plot armor.
Yeah,
yeah, and I think that's what makes them very appealing. Now, when you take it to the next level, where you say, "Oh, if tragedies don't happen, then the story is trash," then I don't necessarily understand because you need to make sure there is a reason for the tragedy to happen. It can just happen out of nowhere because
right.
I don't think anybody will enjoy that. But
No one wants edge just for edge's sake. I feel it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they but like okay, for example, right? Like Death Note is an amazing series. But I know some people say they don't want to watch it because it's like too dark. How y'all feel about that?
No, they definitely should watch it. That's one of the greatest, most well put together shows. At least the first half. A lot of people have a problem with the second half of Death Note, but I liked it all the way through. I definitely have my little nitpicks, but it isn't over edgy because it like that gore is not there. It's all sharp ass lines and crispy ass movements, and the thing with the chips is kind of cringy to some people, but I I laughed
That
my
chip
ass
scene
off
is
at
top
it,
tier, man. That chip scene is top.
bro. I laughed my ass off. That was great. Like I love that moment. So yeah, definitely watch Death Note. Don't not watch it because you're doing yourself a disservice. That's it.
I feel that.
Like for
What's
for
good,
me,
guys?
right, is the concept. Yo, what's good, Chevy?
Okay.
You're
I was just gonna say real quick, like for me, Death Note is just the whole concept of it, like being given the power to off people just by writing their name down. Like the concept is so original, Like I don't get how people would not want to get into it. So
and it has one of the greatest openings of all time.
it's pretty good. It's solid.
Sprinkled on top of that.
Yeah. So
All right.
bring that
Shit, Chevy.
I'm cool then.
What's happening, man?
Not much, not much, man. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
good, man.
What you think about Death Note? Like, would you
Yeah,
recommend it to people?
I literally had just come in when you guys started talking about it. I enjoyed Death Note. If I'm too loud, guys, by the way, tell me because I'm using like normal headphones. But
Sound fine.
yeah, yeah, no, I enjoyed Death Note. I was even gonna ask, are we even calling Death Note a dark series because of the ability to kill, or like is it really dark, or I don't know,
I mean, okay, so it's not like he's like, stabbing someone, right? But I mean, I don't know. Me personally, there is like, I mean, the concept of it is pretty dark, uh, but it's not like the darkest of all time. Like, okay, so they're killing criminals, but it's not like they're killing criminals in a way of like, you see like a crazy amount of blood. It's more of like along the lines of just the idea of it that the world is
sadistic.
yeah, the world is just so dark, and then how power can really overtake you, and then like how like basically how anybody can be overtaken by power, and how it seems in a messed up way our world is so dark that the world almost seems like in a certain way, of course it's not because people living in fear, but in a certain way it seems like the world was a better place because of this masochist dude with a god complex. So it's dark in that way with the themes and stuff. But
Mm.
I guess that's just the question. Does it really need to be bloody to be dark? You know?
No, no, you're right. It's not necessarily about being bloody. I guess like you said, like a lot of it was sadistic in just the thought process that comes with having a death note and having using the ability. and then like the thought process of even putting someone's name in it is pretty dark, because it's premeditated murder. It's not situational. It's not self-defense. It's not, let's not sugarcoat it. It's murder. It's point blank.
That's
So it
fact.
is quite dark.
Yeah.
When you put it that way, to be honest, I just never thought about it the way until you said that. To be fair.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, this is what I had a I think I had an argument with someone. It's like not even an argument, but I had thought about this before. Like supernatural acts can be considered on the same scale of like real life acts. For example, like in a show, if in a show, if like burning someone alive with a demonic dragon or something like that is considered a bad thing, and they do that, that could be considered just as evil as if they just would have shot somebody. It may not affect you as much because it's just like it's something that's not realistic, though, you know. But
Yeah.
you can still consider it evil act just by story standards. Like Delphi killing niggas with strings, you know. But he's definitely evil as shit.
Yeah. So facts. I mean, where are you guys in the conversation as to like with dark series and stuff? Have you guys?
I
Pretty
was
much.
just I was I was just drawing out examples of a dark series that could be good or dark series that could be bad with.
Trying to think of another
Yeah.
one. It's like that.
I mean,
We can stick
Berserk's
with it.
pretty dark, but I didn't
Yeah, I didn't
invest.
really read in that a lot. I should
Yeah.
though. I hear it's like amazing. Goblin Slayer is pretty dark.
Ain't goblins?
got,
Yo.
got a tan shit.
Bro, I didn't even, bro. You know what? I'm laughing so hard because I didn't even watch that shit, but I know from
Yeah,
episode one because that was like what people was telling me to watch it for, and
yeah.
it's like, yo, that shit's wild.
People didn't give a fuck about the other like 16 episodes. It was like, nigga, this first episode, god damn.
Despair.
That's all they watch, and then they're like, "Well, I watched Goblin Slayer," but they really watched the first episode and stopped. It's
And
actually
not even
kind of good. The art is amazing. Like the animation looks good to me. But
that first
that
that first
first
episode
and
was
it
weird.
keeps going. It's not like they pull that card once. It's like a theme in the show, kind of. So
Wow.
if you can stomach it a few more times, it's all right.
If you can stomach it.
That's the only reason people don't fully explore Goblin Slayer because it's like a really well animated MMORPG, uh, like anime basically. Because that's all the roles. They take quests, they do fucking missions and shit, but they actually live. They got some slice of life in there, so it's like they go and do the MMORPG shit,
Yeah.
collect rubies or whatever, and then you get to see them, chilling.
So you would say it's dark, but it's not too dark because of that other stuff, and that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, like it's well rounded. Like a show can be dark, but as long as it lets you know that there's other parts of the story besides the darkness, I think that's a really good way to have your anime run because you don't want to be in dark edge land forever throughout the whole
Yeah,
series.
because
I
we got to
mean,
care about these characters. If bad things always just happen to them all the time, it's
Yeah,
like
well, I need to see him succeed. I
but
need to see him grieve. I need to see him happy, sad.
is the
So
dark series necessarily just reoccurring despair, or can it be like like for example, a dark time or a dark era where the way of life is different, and obviously we get like a different perspective or like a lighter perspective through like I guess a main character or so,
Or
something
like
like
Fist of the North Star.
yeah, or something like
hmm.
I think it's something with
Attack on Titan or
Attack on Titan is dark because there's so much. I think the gore
yeah,
and kind of the next level, like shit you don't want to see. I think that's what it is. Like if someone's getting decapitated and you see the blood and you see their fucking spinal cord and shit, like that's when it starts to get dark. But if you have someone die and they flash away to people's expression, it's not dark because you don't see anything. Like it's kind of almost shock value-y. So
but
all the
then
shows should think of that.
that's not necessarily dark. That's again that's shock value then, wouldn't it be? Because
Yeah, that's
You can be
true.
because like with Z-Boy just pointed out, like it doesn't have to be bloody to be dark. Like themes can be dark. Like for example, the
The
story
monster
of
has a
this
goal.
is random. This is not anything I've read or watched, but let's imagine there's a story of a boy who has been told his mother has been dead for like the whole time, and then fuck all of that. Afro Samurai's not Afro Samurai.
Samurai Champloo.
Samurai Champloo's dark as fuck,
Yeah,
bruv.
but you see
But
people's head gets cut off.
yeah, but that's not why it's dark. It's dark because she gets there at the end only for it to not matter.
I mean, it's plenty of
That's
stuff
part
where it's
of it,
like
but you got to put the dark, like the dark part has to be some of the gore. Like some of it has
No,
to be
Gore
bloody.
doesn't. Nah, Gore doesn't
I'm
yeah,
make
no,
because
cut.
I'm
there
not.
could
I'm
be
not
like a there could
saying
be a
that it's the
comedy.
whole
There could
part.
be
It's part of it. I'm not saying it's the whole thing. I'm saying it's
there could
part
be
of
a
it.
comedy where there's gore. You know,
Yeah. So it can be whatever it has, but it's like most of the
but that's
dark
dark comedy. That's dark comedy. It's still dark. Yeah.
But
most of the
like the
darkness we put in there is because of like what happens to like Death Note. Like you don't really see a lot of decapitation, but people having heart attacks over and over again gets kind of like gory. Like damn, these people really dropping like this.
yeah,
People
but
getting
what's
hit by
the
cars.
but the darkness in Death Note isn't the fact that it's happening because that's a normal thing. What's dark about Death Note is the fact that people are putting people's names into a book for these things to happen. It's like you're wishing death on someone. That's
I
what's dark about
guarantee
it.
you, we wouldn't consider Death Note as dark as it is if every time he wrote the name in the book, we flashed away and never actually saw the people drop. Most of the gore is people's faces contorting or people getting thrown off fucking
Yeah, but
buildings and
bro,
shit. That
Not
you're
really.
missing
is
the point.
part
You're
of it.
missing the
You
point.
can't say
You're
it's
missing
not
the
part of
point.
it.
You're missing the
You're
point. You
missing the
keep
point. I'm not saying it's
no,
all of
no.
it.
Do you know why you're missing
Saying
the
it's
point?
all of it.
Do you know why you're missing the point? You
Why is
keep
that?
saying keyword gore. You're not saying darkness. It's a separate thing. Gore
I
doesn't make
know
up
it is
darkness.
because I'm talking
That's what we're
specifically
saying.
about the gore. You were saying you can have like a dark without gore, and I'm saying yes, you're right. But it's a big part of it. For every series we can name that people know about, there's gore. You can name other small niche animes, but they're not as big because there's not that big flashy
So
gore
would you go? Would
in
you
it.
go
That's all I'm
Samurai
saying.
Champloo gore because of the blood in it?
Yes. Most people haven't even
Then
made it to the end of Samurai Champloo, and they know it's gore, and they love it because of the crazy fights, the
Dragon
cool
Ball
ass
Z's gore
characters,
then.
and the gore. What do you
Okay,
mean?
Dragon Ball Z can get pretty dark at
Then
times. The, the only
Dragon
thing,
Ball
I'm not
Z's
saying
the
that
then
only
it
thing that
isn't, bro.
mediates the
Y'all are missing
darkness
it.
is the
I'm
fact that
not
they can
saying
be brought
Dragon
back to
Ball Z
life.
isn't dark because it doesn't have gore. I'm just saying the ones that are like welded within the dark category has gore in it, and gore is his main pusher. That's
Yeah,
all. That's all I was saying.
no, you're right. You're right. But I was just trying to pose the question so that we could like discuss whether that shows how good dark
yo,
series are because like it's like they can't seem to do a dark series without gore and we already as we've just established
Mm-hmm.
gore doesn't make up a dark series. However, like you just said,
Facts.
in all of them or most of them it's a big factor. So it's like why can't we get that's what I wanted to ask is like why can't we get a dark series without gore, you know?
Mm.
uh,
Hey, Z
Well, what's
boy.
up, guys?
because gore is pretty. Oh, what's up, BDV, bro?
All right.
What
Yeah,
up?
so
Hey,
I was just going in. My bad.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
okay, I'll wait till y'all get done.
nah, man, we good, bro. You got the floor, bro.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nah, but I'm trying to figure out what I just hopped in. I didn't have no clue what's going on. To be honest.
We're basically we were talking about Death Note at first and would you recommend it to people. Then we kind of moved on to like what makes a dark series or dark anime or dark manga like dark. And then we got in that whole gore thing. So what do you think? Like if a show doesn't have a lot of gore in it, can you consider it dark? And if you do, is it good? Like is it one of the top tier ones? Like a no
Right.
gore dark anime?
For
Would that be a top
me,
tier to you?
what makes a series dark is the psychological issues that goes on. Like you psychologically break someone down mentally to
Hmm.
their worst point ever. That's really dark. The
I
Thank
agree.
gore
you.
and
Yeah.
that the gore is like a add on. It's
Right.
like the psychological the
Hmm.
mental issues and fatalities of what goes on in that like period.
Or
That's
like
like
a
a
result.
salad. Yeah, that's like a salad. But the dressing on it would be the gore and stuff. But that's not really needed much to get the nutrition out the
Yeah,
Right.
meat.
Hold on. So real quick to that point, if you had a psychological buildup of torture and like excellent writing, this guy has been tricked and just fucked up since episode one psychologically, but there was not one drop of physical
That would
harm
be pretty
payoff
dark.
to it. Would
That'd
you
That'll
be
be
pretty
say
dark.
very
no,
dark,
no, no?
bro.
I'm not. I didn't even finish the question.
Oh,
Nah, go on.
go ahead, bro. Go ahead, go
Sorry,
ahead.
go
So
on.
Yeah,
all I
that
was
that
saying
build up
was
sounding pretty dark
if
though. But go
yeah
ahead.
if all that shit happened, but there was no physical payoff in the end, he didn't get hurt at all. He just went on about his day working at Walmart. You would really be okay with that, as opposed to
I
something
mean,
physical
if he,
Yeah,
happening.
bro. Yeah, bro. It's a
All right.
story, bro.
I
Nah,
mean,
if
because
I understand
on
it's a
that note,
story, and stories have gore in it, and they don't have gore in it. So I was just trying to see where you
on
was
that
at on the
note,
No,
spectrum.
no, yeah, you're trying to ask. Yeah, yeah, you're not saying that you won't be. Yeah, no, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
yeah, because like I like reading things. Like I don't. For me, when I read, and I feel like Teddy and Z-Boy can attest to this. Like we have conversations about this all the time. Like
Mm-hmm.
because we always end up talking about One Piece, but in manga, action and like sometimes action isn't even the biggest thing in certain stories or in certain arcs. So if I got a whole story where I could literally read and look through pictures and there was not a drop of blood or physical harm, but there was all this psychological trauma, bro, I can't lie to you, I'll be happy.
yeah,
I'll be
like,
happy.
I feel like
because
I would read Promise Neverland if they didn't get like kind of fucked up too. So I feel that Promise Neverland is a good one where it's not focused on the danger, but it's kind of
Mhm.
there. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
feel like I could read it without the gore too. So I feel what you're saying.
for
Yeah.
example, of the because like there's a plenty of things in life that can play pretty dark for you, but like it may not be gore involved unless someone dies or something. But
Right.
you
it's
know,
like
Yeah.
the saying, it's like in the story, if you go around and there's this one guy you're fucking with, and throughout his whole life, you're just fucking with everything that he enjoys within life to the point he doesn't enjoy nothing else.
that's
That's
dark.
pretty dark.
Big
Mhm.
And
facts.
at the end of the day, he's gonna have a mental break eventually. There's
If
no
y'all were
going
to
back to that.
recommend something, what anime would you say fits that mold?
Mm.
Have y'all watched ReZero?
I haven't.
Not yet.
Well, there's a part of it that's pretty dark, pretty depressing, because I can't really go into it without spoiling. But the thing is, you get a real sense of helplessness throughout
Which
everything
what
that happens.
what show is this?
ReZero,
Okay.
and it's frustrating because you can, like, it gets to a point where you get so sucked into the struggle and the trauma of the main character that it's really like it affects you, you know. So, and it's going back to what you were saying earlier about having gore in the story. I feel like that should almost be its own category, because like the
Yeah.
darkness of a show, right? I don't think is defined necessarily by how much gore there is in it, but more by how the
How the story presents itself.
exactly how it makes you
Yeah.
feel
The
as you're
theme
reading it
and the
or
help.
watching it,
Yeah.
you know, because there's things that you and I can watch and be like, yeah, that's cool. Somebody's gonna watch the same thing and be like, oh man, that was dark as all hell. Like, I don't know if y'all heard
Facts.
about Steins Gate. It's like
Oh
a
yeah, yeah,
time
yeah,
travel
yeah.
thing,
That's a
right?
good one. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see the way it's set up. You could have people watch it and just enjoy it for the theme of time travel and everything. But then other people really connect with what was happening to this man when he was trying to save that girl's life,
Yeah,
right?
that was dark. He just
It,
kept going in the past and all that. Yeah.
yeah, you remember like how that makes you feel as you're watching. It's like it's agonizing, you know. So I would say, yeah, gore is, you know, I can understand it. I can understand how it would make a series dark, but like if you see how it's executed, then it may not make it so dark, because I believe it was Chevy that was saying that then if we go by that standard, Dragon Ball Z would be like considered, you know, dark because of all the gore in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Android
The
16's
comment
head was on, I mean Android 16's head was on the floor, bro.
a comic got killed is a good example of what you're talking about, where it's like it's gory, but it's the story that makes it less dark.
Hmm.
Like literally, you stopped caring for the deaths because it just kept happening so casually. It's like, okay,
Yeah, then the
You
uh,
characters
know
aren't
what?
that interesting, you know.
Do you know
Uh,
what?
just happen.
There's a there's a few that we haven't actually mentioned that we can, and I think some of the newer animes and newer shows are pretty dark. Um, and they just have pretty dark themes. Something like Kimetsu no Yaiba is like pretty dark, um, in terms of just the premise,
Oh
like what
yeah,
happens to him
yeah.
in the
I
beginning,
know.
and like
Dororo is
you know,
supposed to be dark too, right?
pardon.
There's this one called Dororo, or
I
it's
haven't
Yeah,
seen it.
I've heard of it, but I haven't.
I
I
heard
heard
it.
it's
Yeah.
dark.
yeah, I heard of it too, but I haven't seen it yet. But just the synopsis seems pretty messed up. It's this kid, right? When he's born, his dad offers him up for sacrifice in order to gain power in the country that he
Sound like a
lives in.
black dad.
Yeah, and so by sacrificing his kid, the kid ends up with no eyeballs, no arms, no legs, but he still lives. So then the
Sounds like the
story,
Soul Kid in Bleach.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like it's kind of like that. So you kind of go through the journey of this kid trying to reclaim all his body parts and everything. From what I understand, at least, I haven't watched
Whoa,
it, but yeah,
that's crazy.
it's
That's
yeah,
fucked up.
exactly. And
That's crazy.
What the fuck?
God damn.
like
Like
it's one
regard.
of those few situations, right? It's one of those few situations where the darkness of the themes tackled in the show mingle
Bro,
with the gore, where
I,
I'm
it
on.
creates that whole package, right?
I'm only laughing because I didn't expect you to say he's trying to reclaim all his body. Bro, that's crazy.
yeah, that's crazy. But I would argue that like
Yeah.
if you need gore to make your series dark, that's a flaw of you as a writer.
Yeah, that you're not writing the Dark series.
Yeah, you got to use it more as what it is, like an accompaniment to,
Yeah,
or
it's
like
got
an
to be
exclamation point. Like it's not the sentence, but the exclamation point
Yeah, this man was
puts it
trying
in
to
exactly.
a
like
second
It's
create
the
order.
result.
something
It's the result
big.
of a process or
Yo,
something. Like
Exactly.
give
You
me 1
can't
minute.
yeah.
I'll meet y'all right. I'll be right back.
All
hear.
right, bro.
I'm
Uh,
Appreciate you
I was
coming.
even. I was gonna say.
For example, right? Like if a series can be dark and it could just come off as laughable because it's so bad. Like for example, like
Doctor
a
Stone
dude, like a
is not
okay,
laughable, but it
like,
starts right.
like for example, like maybe like a dude is like he's like punching a baby in the head, or he's forcing the mom, like he's forcing spaghetti in her asshole or something. Like
Oh my god.
that could just
But,
be, bro. It's
yeah,
series like that. It's series
Wow,
like that.
wow.
that's wild.
Like,
That's wild. But I was gonna
that could
say
just
like,
be laughably bad, you know. Like it's just doing too much. That's happened so many times.
That's a recurring thing.
what else is new? Um, have you guys seen Astro Lost in Spaceship? The new show.
Nah, I haven't. What's it about?
Um, these kids they like sign up for like to go. They sign up to go out to space kind of thing. And like me and Teddy and I don't Zebo, were you there when we watched the first episode?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, yeah, no, and our boy Raven as well. We got Raven. We was all watching that, and basically it's they kind of just sign up, and right now it's only like three episodes in, so we can't really tell if it's we can't tell what's happening to them. But there's been no gore, and it's pretty dark because it's like they're literally lost in space, and they're how many? They're a few months away from Earth at light speed, but they don't have no supplies. So they've only got 3 days worth of supplies. So they have to go like from each planet to planet every 3 days or every 20 days to get supplies.
Damn.
And like I think each planet has a theme. And Raven pointed out, I'm always gonna point this out because he's the one that pointed this out to me. Each planet is an anagram. So the first planet was called Verisal or something funny, Verisoli or something funny, but obviously the anagram was survival and so on and so forth. And then but yeah, it is pretty dark. But then the character development and I mean the dark aspect or aids the character progression, the characterization as well as the development. So it's more the
Sounds
darkness is more of a what'd you say, bro?
that sounds dope.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's more of a plot device than it being the overarching theme, but it's actually really it's there because when you think about it, it's like how would you feel if you was actually in this scenario? Like there's a scenario where someone's caught outside the spaceship and basically she has no fuel in her like her boosters anymore and you know that kind of stuff. It's like you just think about it, it's like how would you feel like, you know, and you're drifting
Right.
away.
It reminds me
Like,
of the that new. but it's kind of old now. The that Cloverfield Paradox movie on Netflix. It
Mm.
was all in space and shit, and weird shit was happening. And it's like you in space, so you really can't. you have way less resources, and you really can't do anything if something go wrong. One of
Yeah,
those
it's
kind of
all like
feels.
yeah, just being
Um,
in space is crazy.
some
Yeah,
They got it
advice.
well.
Some advice I'll probably give writers is like the same thing I kind of do. Is like write about real life, but not like okay, write real life based on like based off of you, right? Like but you can still use it to make something else. For example, this is not exactly what my series is, but the main character she goes through some certain issues that I went through when I was younger. And
Mm.
then there's other characters like that, and there's also other characters who okay is a big is a there's a big theme behind it, uh, and like people with different problems and stuff. It's a long story that would take forever. I would describe right now exactly, but for example, you want to write superheroes, and then maybe if you grew up shunned as a kid or something, you can have it be like, oh, have the superheroes shunned in society the same way you are, and then
Mm.
just stuff
That
like
way,
that.
that way you're writing from a real place, kind of thing, and that
Yeah, and
kind
it
of.
could come off as genuine, and people, oh, this is so realistic. This is how it could really happen. This is such a great writer, and the
you
writer in
can.
the interview could be like, "How you came up with this?" Well, I wrote from the heart.
Yeah,
That's
it's hard to
that's
put in like those little details that'll really push home with people that been through it if you haven't been through it. Because there's only certain things you'll know if you like been in those crazy ass situations or like something close to it. And then branching off obviously because you got to have a fantasy element. But if you
all
just
right.
put some of yourself in it, it's just so real you almost can't be denied sometimes.
Hmm.
Like, bro, I showed my MC to a lot of people, and he's like, "Man, this MC is so great, so realistic." And it's like, "Bro, you're such a great writer." I'm like, "I'm not really a great writer. I'm just writing it based off of like different ideas I have, or ways I feel like I would act in certain situations if I was put there and stuff."
All right,
That's dope.
big facts.
That's dope. But yeah, no, it is interesting to see, and that would be dope to see if someone could write a dark series that had like a very relatable main character.
Hmm.
That would be, I think that would even be, because that was kind of what Death Note kind of was. It was like a regular guy stumbled across the book.
Light's not really relatable. I'll say Lelouch is way more relatable than Light. I mean, Tobias
How
did.
he was
What
a
you mean?
genius too, though. He was kind of a
No, it ain't
genius like
about being
Light
a
too.
genius. It's not about being a genius. It's in his what he was fighting for and the things that he went through.
Okay, I thought you meant like him as a person, kind
I
of
bet,
like
yeah, I bet that's a
their
person.
abilities. I thought you were talking about that.
Yeah, I
Nah,
bet that's a person. I bet his light is like he's just a regular
he's
guy.
an
Like,
egotistical megalomaniac. What's so realistic? I mean, not realistic. I
Well, I
mean,
mean, Lelouch
low
was a
key, low
prince of
key.
a whole country who got abandoned, and not many people can relate to that.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I'm talking about other stuff like with his family and how his family abandoned him, and then uh, how it changes him and stuff like that. But
Okay, yeah, I can see it.
I mean, Lucius kind of one of them wish fulfillment characters, but in a
Yeah,
sense,
facts. Like an orphan being able to like survive after being like thrown out by his family and becoming a
n-
super genius, leading an
not
army.
not even just that. Just like he's some characters written to be like cool and interesting. He wasn't really written from a perspective of like keeping them super like. He's a well written character, but not for like simply like realistic, relatable reasons. He wasn't really written for that.
Right.
yeah, that's fair.
But I do love
But
Code Geass though, and I have to finish it, like the whole thing, because
oh yeah,
the part I
the ending
watch
would
is next level.
change. The ending would blow your mind.
I can't wait, bro. I'm so excited.
But like speaking of MC as an example of where darkness may not work, a lot of people hate Luffy, at least before this chapter, 'cause apparently Luffy did some hype this chapter, but that's for shameless plug to Chevy. He's gonna have a One Piece stream in a minute. And he
Hey,
does One Piece content on his channel as well. For
Yeah,
anybody who's watching this in
everyone's
the future.
welcome as well. So,
I'm
All
about to
right.
follow you after this. What's your YouTube channel?
Chevy Newgate.
Right. So A lot of people want Luffy to be like, super dark and stuff, but honestly, I feel like Luffy should have a little bit more character development, but at the same, he should still stay true belief of who he is.
Yeah, like One Piece is well, we're gonna get Teddy in his bag, but One Piece is pretty dark.
Yeah, it is.
It is
Everyone
pretty dark.
has to have a tragic backstory to be a straw hat.
It's
So
just
I
that
agree with you.
Luffy's very naive, but he's growing out of that. He has been growing out of that naivety, and obviously this chapter was where it was like in bold capital letters for everyone. But I feel like it's been shown throughout the series, especially since the time skip.
Facts.
Like moments, like even like
All right,
deciding to take
I got
Katakuri
my.
into the mirror world alone, like showing that same character progression. But let's not delve into that. But One Piece does have very dark moments and dark flashback, backstories.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Do
got
you
my
think it's
thumbnail now.
you think
If
it's balanced
anybody,
out with too much like lightness? You think it would be a better series if it just embraced this dark, themes more?
Though I think it would be expected. I think the fact that it doesn't embrace that darkness of the pirate world all the time is what makes One Piece, because that's what makes Luffy Luffy. It's like Z-Boy said.
Oh yeah, I agree. And it
Yeah,
makes
so
people like Blackbeard, the real pirate of the One Piece world, like that
yeah,
much more
people like
better.
Blackbeard, Kid,
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, it's like One Piece is only a light-hearted series because we get One Piece through the Straw Hat's perspective.
Yeah. They definitely have rose colored glasses on most of the time because it's terrible in the One Piece world.
hmm I don't know what
yeah,
else is what.
uh,
There's
uh,
there's
Oh, Z Boy, you had that one series you tell me about Monster, isn't that one?
yeah.
That good one. Like that's an amazing show.
Oh, you checked it out? You watched the whole thing? I ain't watched the whole thing yet.
I didn't know. I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched a couple episodes, but
I'm a
so
huge
far it's.
procrastinator.
But yeah, like my Monsters Fire. Um, I can't think of any other ones right now, off the top of my head.
But we're not sitting here saying Darkness isn't can't be good because some of the best series of all time are Darkness. Let's even step away from anime for a sec. Uh, Breaking Bad, it has a pretty dark concept. It doesn't have like as much gore as like Dexter or nothing, but it's pretty dark. Like in how the main character twists and turns, and that
Yeah,
relation to chemistry and yeah, it's pretty dark. It's
Jesse's
actually
life is a
extremely dark.
pure tragedy.
It's extremely dark. Yeah. Yeah, it's pure tragedy.
big fact.
It gave me a pretty depression that time. But that actually, yeah, sadness does equal darkness.
I mean, if we're on TV, would Game of Thrones count?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't really watch the series, but I
I
know it
think
does
it's like
count.
a jacked up version of what Hunter x Hunter does, just to kind of put anime and a real show together. Because a big theme of Hunter x Hunter that I kind of like is how the world just doesn't give a fuck about you, like ever. Like the world will keep on turning. These little kids, getting messed up out here. No one is safe, but they don't just rely on that. There's a thousand other things good about Hunter x Hunter, but with Game of Thrones, they kind of rely on the fact that every 3 episodes someone's going to get like a pinky cut off at least. So they kind of build off of that, but then they have the good story and they have these great set pieces, and everyone loves historical
A great
shit.
chessboard as well.
Everything, yeah. It's like and a lot of moving parts too. Like it's hard to
Dang.
keep all these threads going, and they
That's why I
meet
said
up with each other.
chessboard.
Yeah, so it's like it's a I think it's a good apt comparison, but I definitely like Hunter x Hunter over Game of Thrones, even though Game of Thrones is good.
Mhm.
Dexter's dark. Y'all seen Dexter?
Yeah, Dexter. It's cool though. I
It's
it
very
started off
dark.
real early 2000s, but then it came into its own after a while, like that crime of the week thing. But the premise was good.
Have you guys seen or heard of Fringe?
I love Fringe. Oh my god, I thought I was gonna watch that fucking show.
I thought I was the only one, bro.
Bro, Fringe
All
is
five
next level.
seasons.
I didn't get to all 5 seasons because that was back then when I was actually watching it, like when it came on TV. So I was lucky to get consistent episodes in. But from what I saw,
Hmm.
next level. It's sad too. It's really sad too.
Got
Like
the
the whole
cancelled. Yeah.
doctor storyline, like the old dude.
Hmm.
It's just, bro, just say slow. Like he has this great ass mind. He's just slowly falling into dementia. He don't know what the fuck's going on, but he can like travel dimensions if he
Walter,
wanted to.
Walter Bishop,
Yeah, fucking. Oh man, and his son. Yeah, that whole
Peter
thing. I
Bishop.
love that
That
show.
whole story, his storyline was crazy, bro. Of
Heart
like
wrenching.
losing his sons and having to go and steal one from another dimension, and like,
It's very Rick
bro,
and Morty. I like that. It was like I think that came out before Rick and Morty, so that's what makes it great because that's kind of what happened too in one of the episodes.
Bro, Rick and Morty, when it gets real, man. Like
Facts.
it could be dark comedy and then it could go to just like for real, like we legit, you know, which is I think
pulling
is
at the strings.
yeah, like it's actually like taking itself seriously, but it could switch back to the dark comedy. I think series are good that can do that, you know.
Facts. Any other series come to mind?
Movies, the Marvel movies got pretty dark. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's one of the
Thanos was
best.
snapping people out of existence in the beginning scene with Hawkeye. That was sad.
Yeah, they sprinkle some despair in there. The one I liked was when Hawkeye was training his daughter how to shoot, and then he turned around for like a second, like a whole second, and then his whole family was just dust. He didn't even get to see it happen. They just was just gone.
Yeah, man, that
So
shit sucked.
yeah, just this little quiet moments like that where it's like, what the fuck? It must feel terrible. Like the helplessness in that situation, be like everyone you cared about was just gone, and you know what happened.
Yeah,
So yeah, little things like that. Have y'all seen well, Case Closed or Detective Conan? That detective show with the
I
little
have.
kid.
It pisses me off, but
no, I
yeah, I
haven't.
have.
I'm glad you said that because that is a very real feeling for that show. Like the where can I just want a conclusion after all this time, and they
Yeah,
just keep stretching it out.
Doesn't
and
it have
it's
like a
really
billion
crazy.
episodes.
A billion. It's one of the longest
Yeah,
running ever.
it's stupid because it's literally something that has outlasted its welcome. You know,
Facts.
because
I can't even watch it anymore. It's so dumb.
you see, people complain about like the length of a show like One Piece. With One Piece is a whole story, right?
Like
We
we
haven't
got stuff to
discovered everything yet.
resolve.
We're progressing towards the end goal eventually. So it makes sense for these episodes to come out the way they are because we're not stuck in the same. With Detective Conan, it's just different cases, and this nigga's still a kid. Like, come on, fam. Like,
And
it's been
how,
way too long.
bro? I don't understand how they come up with so many cases. I legit be kind of be stuck on some of them, and they're all like,
I have to say,
that's the
yeah.
only thing I'm impressed about. Like they
Yeah, I
have
have to
some
give it to that guy, man. He's original with them
hell
ideas.
yeah.
You know, Kindaichi? That was another detective anime. That
I,
stuff was, oof.
I need to watch that. I love Detective. Man.
Oof.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bungo Stray Dogs. Any y'all seen that?
I heard of it. I haven't seen it.
That's next level. Bungo Stray Dogs is great, and it has it doesn't just rely on the detective part. It has powers and stuff in it. So a lot they'll bring in a lot more of the uh people who watch anime for the flash and bang. But it has some good cases in it too, though. But I don't think any detective show can really top Detective Conan's like consistency of like crazy unsolvable cases
Hmm.
because they have like what almost 1,000 now, maybe more episodes, and
Yeah,
most of them.
they got like One Piece level episodes, man. That's crazy.
Uh,
Man, what are some series that aren't dark that are great?
wait, what'd you say?
I said, what are some series that aren't dark that are great?
Orange Dark. Mm,
Mm,
I like Air Gear. Not a lot of people seen or read about Air Gear, but that's a good one.
I like some slice of lives, to be honest. Plenty of comedies. You know?
I find it hard to get into slice of lives, honestly.
It depends.
Martial arts is always good.
Some are hilarious.
You
Yeah,
know
I believe.
what? I'm going to be the cheesy nigga in here. I like slice
Hey,
of life. I like romantic
Rom
hey,
stories. I can't even
rom
lie to
coms.
you. Rom coms,
hey.
hey, facts, man. People say, "Oh
Hey,
no,"
I
it's
like
like,
rom coms, like actual movies, but anime, it take you don't have to
have
take it
you
to
seen
that.
Toradora? I would
Nah.
never stop to be the princess of that,
Hey,
man.
Oh shit,
Like
Teddy, a
Toradora.
real
Toradora.
nigga. He ain't just a
Hey, gotta
shonen
keep,
head.
He's
Hey,
hyping it
gotta
up.
keep it a buck, man.
I
ain't just a
might have to
shonen
check it
head,
out.
man. Ain't just a shonen head. That's what's up.
All right, I can respect that. I can respect that.
Oh snaps! Oh
But I
shit!
mean, you also you're into detective shows like detective animes and stuff like that. So like,
Hell yeah!
thrillers. Um,
Oh, I love thrillers. Like that's definitely why I'm like I can accept the fact that gore is not a big part of darkness. Like
mhm,
it's not the main part because of like my love for thrillers and the fact that if you just put people in tense ass situations and it's just like it just keeps building with a great story, I can do that.
mhm.
Like
AMG
I can fucking do that.
said yeah, he think dark series are overrated. But go ahead, Vulture.
Oh no, it's pretty much done. But yeah, there's a lot of good anime out there that's it's hard to say like action light, but that's action light and still like phenomenal. I hear Made in Abyss is like one of the good ones. Anybody seen that or heard of it?
Made in
Yeah.
Abyss.
I
Yeah,
was
Made
gonna
in Abyss.
say, I was gonna quickly punch on that point where that was it AMG that said that,
Yeah.
and I can kind of agree with him because, but it's to an extent, and it's like I said earlier, it's because there aren't really well written dark series or shows or anime or manga that don't rely on specific things to make them dark, you know, and I think it's a good point. It's a good thing you've raised the stream because hopefully a writer that's currently ready to put something out would quickly revise that and give us a good series, or I might have to wait till Z-Boy does.
Facts.
Thanks.
So it's like a
So
dark show should really be like a contained story with like assisting dark elements instead of just like dark elements put together to make a show.
yeah,
You can say that. Yeah,
But there's a difference though. There's a difference between a dark series and a series that just has dark elements.
yeah, of course. Like a dark series will have the same dark elements, but they aren't the main factors. They happen
yeah. It's a
like
story that's
yeah,
happening, and then there's dark is like
then
layered
there's
more with dark themes.
more
Bro,
dark, yeah, and even those dark things, they might not even be gore. It might be like a situation of realization, or
Yeah,
like it
let's
might be
use
just
all the
trauma. It
tools.
might be, it
There's
could be anything.
depression, fucking mental,
They,
mental
yeah,
breakdown.
like no one's saying there can't
Like,
be
oh,
violence. Like there can be
is it?
violence, but
Is anyone
what
here a
does?
comic fan? Like
yeah.
anyone like comics at all? Like Moon Knight. Is anyone like read any of the Moon Knight shit?
No.
never heard of it. I don't know what it
Oh
is.
shit. Oh yeah, it's a fucking dope ass Marvel character, and it's kind of like Batman almost. He has his white suit, but he gets his powers from Egypt or whatever. But the whole power set and everything don't really matter because he's fucking crazy. He's this guy who has like three personalities in him, and one's a normal guy. One's a guy who's like a taxi driver that he uses to get information from people to help him help his
Mm,
Moon Knight persona. So he's trying to battle with all these personas, and he doesn't really know if he has these powers or not. And the way it's written, you don't know if he actually has these powers or if this whole thing is in his head or not. And the art just amplifies like the crazy mental aspect of it all. And this is just like not a mainstream. It's more like a C level, Marvel character, but he's
Mm.
like more profound than most of the mainstream ones, just because of that mental aspect of you don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, so many great series suggestions. I'm gonna look back at this stream and just be like just writing stuff down. But AMG brought up a good point. Like this is exactly my problem with a comic got killed. That's why I got it on the cover. It's like my friends are telling me, man, comic got killed. It's so fire. People die like every episode. That shit is ass, bro. Because he was bringing up like people think anime is better just because it's dark, and that's just not true, man. That's just not true, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
But
for example, nobody actually concentrates on how dark Attack on Titan is.
Oh,
oh yeah.
yeah, it's pretty
That
dark.
wherever that came from, that came at a perfect time because that shit is fucked up.
It's
Yeah,
big facts. It's like,
Like
like it's not even the fact that people are just being ripped apart in front of you. It's the fact that you have to sit there and pretend to live a normal life while these people are
within walls,
within these where you can't go nowhere. The threat. It's not like the threat isn't constantly there. It's like every day, every night.
it's always yeah.
You know they're out there. There's nowhere to run. I mean, you know what was a weird thing? I never. Why don't I like? I don't know if they tried this before. I haven't read that far into Attack on Titan, but why don't they like kind of dig down almost like Gurren Lagann? You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Not to that extent, but like why was that never brought up in the show? You know?
I don't know, man, but I mean, uh, like sometimes I know people may like hate some of the darkness though, like not hate it, but they may feel like it's less because when people talk about Gurren Lagann, like when I saw the show, I was like, wow, there's some pretty dark bits up in here, some pretty like real life bits. But like for the most part, people talk about don't what is it the hell you think I am, and the big giant mecha fight, but no one really talks about like dark elements it has in the series like that.
Oh yeah, it's just pretty. It's pretty down there, and it's really introspective too, which is dope about it.
For sure.
Do y'all think um like is do y'all found it like great like because like people kind of use this a lot of times they be like a series would suck at the beginning and they're like wait it gets dark. How y'all feel about that?
Mm.
Mm,
It's kind of how I feel about Hitman Reborn. Like, it's a great show, but
It's not about the
thirty
darkness
30
though, it's about the
episodes. Man.
action. That's what
No, no,
they
no,
said it
no.
because of the
I
action.
was saying I felt the same way. Like, I shouldn't have to wait X number of episodes, more than maybe one or two, to actually be invested into the show. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but like, I mean, that's something that people use a lot for Hunter x Hunter. I just thought the series was great overall. I didn't feel like I had to wait for the Chimera and art. I know
Me
AMG hates him.
too.
He
It's
hates
yeah,
it, but
the
crazy.
show's great way before the Chimerian arc.
Yeah, like even the
yeah,
exam, like the beginning exam and everything,
The
I'm like,
being
that's
on that
actually
boat was
original.
great.
Yeah,
Like,
eh,
yo,
like that question. Y'all remember that question when it said your mother and your wife are both drowning
oh
and you're
yeah,
safe?
and how
I was like,
Gon just kind of knew the answer and shit. Like the way they worked through that was great.
yeah, and the answer was silence, bruh. I was like, this
Big
this
facts.
is
Like
so original, but people
there's
don't
no
see
right
that.
answer. You can't
You
say
know?
that.
Yeah, exactly. There's no right answer. People don't see that though. They only want the action. That's why most of the time when people come to me with arguments about something being trash, I don't listen because I know where they're coming from. They're coming from a place where their their spectrum of what they enjoy when it comes to manga and anime is so narrow that I cannot have a discussion with them because they don't see the widespread. Like, look, the stuff that we talked about just now, like most of it is not even shonen, right?
Right.
Most of it is stuff that pulls at your heartstrings or triggers your mind to think about certain things that you wouldn't usually think about on a regular basis. People
Right.
don't want that though. People want all the hype, or like they want to be spoon fed things so that they understand them easily, and so that's what makes it great for them. If there's any layers of complexity beyond what they can comprehend, it's trash. And I sit there and I'm like, I could teach you, but you wouldn't listen anyway. You wouldn't understand, so it'd be a waste of my time. So I don't do it. But yeah, man.
it's
People gotta come to
funny.
that on their own.
What's that?
I was just saying people gotta come to that conclusion on their own, like that. Right.
Exactly. Yeah, it's their own
yeah,
journey. I'm not gonna force people to see the light. You gotta see it for yourself, man.
Yeah.
See the light.
Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah. People will watch like Promise Neverland for like the dumbest reasons, and I'm like, you just missing out, man.
It's like I'm glad that you're into
Who was
that
that?
series, but I wish you would see all the facets of it, you know.
Yeah.
So, but
I
yeah,
mean,
I
that's
mean,
it.
like at the end of the day, right? I don't shit, I don't shit on people for liking what they like. Or my only thing is, don't call something trash just because you don't understand it. You
Right.
Yeah.
know, like that's my only thing. Like at least
That's
admit that you're not
everything.
understanding it. And yeah, they literally, Shandy, that's everything. I'm just like, at least understand that it's your own bias that's making you say this, and like don't be like, oh yeah, it's objectively trash, because then I'm like,
Is
no,
there any
you
objectively
objectively
trash
not seeing
anime?
it, the whole picture, and that's what
Uh,
that is.
Are there
people
any
people try.
objectively trash anime or
Oof,
fairy
manga in
tale.
general?
that's that's a good question, man. I
Yeah,
don't
because
know.
I hear what you're saying,
I
but
disagree.
I
Fairy
don't think
tales not
there's
trash.
some really bad anime out there.
Oh, bro, that's the thing. It's like I agree. I agree that there's probably some. The thing that I'm saying, I'm talking about certain manga and anime that they get called trash, or
Because they're not flashy or
lackluster.
mainstream,
Yeah,
stuff like
but
that. I feel you.
yeah. No, but I agree with you. There's probably some stuff out there that's
Yeah,
just so trash that it's not even worth
a
your
lot of
time.
people would label Black Clover that off rip because of the like how it started out, especially when anime came out. But
Hmm.
Mm.
I started to watch it more, and it's not trash. The screaming
That's
does
fair.
get annoying at first, but
Like
it's all
everything,
But
you
right.
get
they
used to it.
fixed that.
Yeah,
They fixed that.
They
And
did,
then
yeah,
but
in the
yeah, you
manga
also
as
get.
well, the manga's like, oof.
yeah. You ain't got to deal with that in the manga, so it's like a whole different story.
Yeah.
It's just
Oof.
really got popular when the anime came out, and then all I heard was Black Clover's fucking trash. So I'm like, damn. Now I watch it. I'm like, the fuck? Okay, yeah. There's a little Naruto in there, but it ain't nothing. What I'm saying, like overwhelming that other manga don't have, like My Hero, and that's both of them still good series.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a honestly trash anime.
So
Hmm.
are you saying Ed Fairy Tale is not an honestly trash anime? Are you trying to think of a different one?
No, the thing about
It's
fairy
not.
tale, right? Yeah, like
Oh shit,
because
let's go.
here's the thing. Here's the thing about fairy tale. There's a lot of aspects to the story that are very reminiscent of another story that I hold dear to my heart. That's One Piece, right? There's
Right.
some aspects of it that remind me of One Piece a lot. The problem is the execution of certain plot points was very questionable, and it kept happening over and over again, and that's how he gained the bad rep that he has now, because it's a specific issue that just keeps happening over and over and over, and it's like it doesn't, like, how in some series, right, or in some stories, whenever the main character goes up against a
The
hurdle or
friendship
whatever.
power ups.
Yeah, but
That,
it's even more than that, right? It's to the point
yeah.
where people don't even doubt that Natsu found a way to win. It's like it kind of takes away from the excitement, because you're like, yeah,
Yo,
he's gonna come
Yeah,
up
that
with
yes,
that
some,
thank
that
you.
you
Big
that,
know.
that could be an
facts.
example of like a series like being too light. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm all for friendship, I'm all for happiness and good vibes, but it's like, man, friendship's not always gonna save you when the dude's trying to stab you in the neck. You know?
It's an emotion like anger though.
Yeah, I get that, but it's just like it is an example of like people who like shonen is an example of when it's taken
But
too far. Like like
that's I,
sometimes I don't have power of friendship stuff like with Luffy when he was fighting on Lucci,
we
but it's
have to
just
say
too
that about
much.
Dragon Ball Z then.
No, not really for friendship. Not really Dragon Ball Z.
We do. We have to say that for Dragon Ball Z, bro. Like, certain power ups only happened after things happened to friends. The things were happening before that, but it's when they happen to, for example, Krillin, Super Saiyan.
They still train for the
Um,
most part in Dragon Ball Z, and I said Dragon
yeah,
Ball Z
but they
fight.
trained, but still didn't attain the next level until something happened to a friend.
I mean, no one's just gonna sit here and argue that Dragon Ball Z is like the best written series of all time, but like,
It's definitely not. Well,
That's why I'm
actually,
like, that's
how
why I'm
good is
like,
the
if
manga
we
compared to the anime?
what's up?
How good is the
manga's pretty
manga?
decent.
Is
What you
it
said,
like
Vulture?
way better than the anime?
Uh, I
Like
mean, There's no shouting or power ups for like half a whole episodes.
No staring at people for 20 minutes.
For
I,
20
I
minutes.
have to
So that's a few
interject real
panels.
quick. Chevy,
Go, bro.
um, I really like Will's mom, man. She
Yeah.
she's awesome. No, because
So
I'm
it's
I'm watching
biased.
Stranger Things right now, so
Oh,
I
Stranger
just I
Things.
just had to
Shit.
interject real quick. But yeah, it's
Bro,
dope. Don't
Teddy hit
mind me.
us with the Colin just there. Big up Colin.
Yo, Z boy,
I got it.
Z boy.
What's up?
Can I invite somebody to the stream? Is that cool?
Yeah,
All right,
is
cool.
a is a stripper.
You know,
Where
next
the
time.
hoes at?
Next time.
Zebra is not serious right now.
Oh my god. Some hoes in this house.
But I just thought something, man. Like Stranger Things is I don't know why I couldn't think of it, but Stranger Things is an example of a
bro,
light series. What the heck is that?
bro. But quick time, quick time, quick time. Do you guys just want to like go into that One Piece stream after we go in, like stay here and do it? Because we might as well.
Well,
No,
One
we
Piece
could go.
thing.
We could go after.
I feel
Oh,
like
yo,
we should just. I feel like
Oh,
we should just stay here.
oh, we got Tom up in here. But yeah, Stranger Things. For Tom though. Stranger Things is an example of a light series that's like beloved by everybody. I mean, it has a couple of aliens and stuff, but for the most part, it's pretty lighthearted. You know, not everybody, but you get what I mean. Like a lot of people. It's a
right.
very good light series. What's up, Tom?
What's good, bro?
Yo,
Good
yo.
Tom.
What's good?
Talking about these a lot of dark series and anime, man. But we about to move over to a One Piece stream now. Was that what you saying, Chevy?
No, not right now. But I was saying we should stay in here and do it, or we
Okay.
could stay in here and do it.
So what in One Piece we talking about?
This is a recent. Oh, actually, Zeba, did you do your catch up?
Nah, bro. Let's just have it on your channel.
Yeah. All right, cool. But we'll do that later anyway. I was just pointing that out.
Cool,
Yeah,
cool.
I'll join the next one. I'm gonna do the catch up stream now.
That
Oh
catch.
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, what any more topics we can talking about?
Tom,
Can
you
I?
want to talk
I was
about
gonna.
anything? Or what you actually said?
Uh, I don't know what y'all was talking about, but like, 'cause I just got the link. But for a dark series,
Tell me how you feel about like does okay, for example, it's not just overrated. That's just the title because overrated is a big word. Okay, I get annoyed by it, but it's basically like it's dark series overrated. Does it make or break a series? Can it make it better? Just stuff like that. Just darkness in series in general. Can a series be dark without it? Without gore? What's the difference between dark series and dark elements? Stuff like that. Just darkness and series in general. Doesn't even have to just be anime, even though we kind of kept it anime for a lot of time.
We moved up every now and then.
Yeah.
I feel like a series can be dark, but it doesn't have to necessarily be dark. You know what I mean?
Like it doesn't have to have the crazy over the top dark elements like people getting their head cut off and stuff like that for it to be dark.
Nah, it really doesn't. It really doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you.
Because like, if you can sell it, convey it, and like, it show the emotion, the expressions on people's faces, and I don't know the lore of it and the aesthetic. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah,
don't feel like people should like knock it. You know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
feel that. But yeah,
As
what
far
else?
as a
Oh, sorry.
far as a series, I was gonna say The Dark Knight, maybe. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, Dark Knight definitely one of my top ones. I love that movie. Or
yeah,
movies.
it wasn't too gory for me. You know what I mean?
I wasn't. But I feel like that was a series to where's wait, you mean a comic or the actual movies?
Well, I'm talking about the movie, but like, I'm
Yeah.
just saying like it wasn't gory. You know?
Yeah, I was just saying that was one of the series that I could have had a little bit more gore in it just because of the source material. Like Like I don't want people heads cut off, but like a few more like of Batman's like martial arts in there, like him actually taking people down
Oh,
in a crazy tactful way with these super crazy gadgets. Just a little bit more of that, and that would have been good. But I
okay,
understand
that's
what the
fair.
time it was, you know.
Yeah.
Even if it's not dark series, I think you should have at least one really really dark villain.
Like what do you mean by dark? Like a sadistic guy or some kind of crazy guy? Is that what you mean?
Just like not even like okay. So I love like tragic and anti villains. Just a villain that's just dark. You know, just like if it's an action series, or something, just a villain just super dark. You know, super sadistic or whatever. Like you
Like
said.
Hisoka?
Hisoka's kind of funny too. But Hisoka
Well,
is dark, but he's like
he's funny. What do you mean?
Hisoka's hilarious, bro.
I think he's hilarious to you because you find stuff like that funny, but objectively, I don't know if he's like supposed to be
He's
funny.
dark funny. He's dark comedy. Yeah, they use some comedy with Hisoka.
Oh yeah, like some, but I thought you meant like overall. When you think of Hisoka, you laugh. Many
Nah,
people don't do that.
nah, nah. He's not. He's not Joker. I mean,
Oh, okay.
overall, when I think about the Joker, I don't even laugh.
Yeah,
But I think you should have at least that one just super dark villain. You know, not everybody needs to be a tragic. I love anti villains, tragic villains or whatever. But not everybody needs to
What do you guys think of Ra's al Ghul?
raise
Ra's
up.
al Ghul is a like from the actual movie or like overall comics, everything included.
Overall, yeah, the whole character.
The whole shebang. Ra's al Ghul is he's evolved over time, and I liked him. You know, he went from like a racist joke pretty much to an
Hmm.
actual fleshed out character with themes and like kind of a tragic but kind of he did it to himself type of deal. And I think he's a good catalyst villain. Like he's the big baddie that spawns a whole bunch of little like dope niche villains under him, like his daughter and that whole thing that spawned off of him. So I think he's a good character.
Okay.
Not the best, but he's definitely like for what he does and what he's supposed to be, he does his job
Yeah.
because he introduces so much. Like because of him, the Lazarus Pit and the Dionysium was introduced, and that whole thing with Joker's going on now because of that. And it was just so
Because
many
of that,
things.
yeah.
Yeah, he's just feeding off of it, all because of Ra's al Ghul and his League of Shadows. Man,
And
so dope.
his whole ethos and
Yeah, all that shit. It's
yeah.
crazy.
If y'all were to like just give like a quick idea of like a dark series you would write, what would it be?
Dark series, I would write. I would actually like one of the things that makes dark series dark or like to cause tension is the setting, and it takes a lot of setup and finagling to get like random like cities or neighborhoods to the point where it's like okay, now it could be fucked up. Like having the setting and like space just automatically makes it just fucked from the jump. And if you could create like a good narrative from that, I would do like a space drama type thing and like tastefully put in some, over the top anime powers because that's my bread and butter in life. I just love it. Like Fire Force I'm in love with that show just because, I love the fire element
Yeah,
and
Fire
whatnot.
Force is fire.
It's the man. That dude putting them feet to people. I love it.
On the tender.
So if I could do some Fire Force in space, that's definitely what I would do. You got to control your powers. You don't want to fucking fly out the airlock, so you gotta, become like a master before you really do anything with your powers.
Dude, that could be a crazy psychological thing too.
Right?
Like it's
Like,
like they gotta
do I
control
use
their
it now?
powers, not to die up in the airlock and stuff. I
Yeah,
mean,
man. You
I
got to put
think
constraint on these godlike abilities, and all you want to do is use them to get you out of situations. But it's like you got to do science. Like, can I exude this much heat or whatever before I fucking explode this whole ship? Stuff like that. That psychological part, like I was talking about earlier, is definitely can take anime to a whole nother level.
uh, anybody got anything else, man? We're not Roger. We're
yeah.
not
I
sponsored.
mean, I mean,
We're not sponsored by Disney, so we can go and we can go and
I mean, I mean, off the top. I mean, off the top, I'd probably write a story about a girl or boy who works in like a lemonade stand at a concentration camp in space
Yeah,
and just
shit.
surviving life there. And yeah,
That sounds like interesting. Eliminate stand concentration camp.
Bro, that
Oh, that
those
reminds me of
words
that
put
one
together
Boondocks
in that way.
episode.
Those words put
Yo,
together in that way already makes me want to watch it.
yo,
This is crazy. Lemonade stand in space. Fucking
that
Space
Boondocks
Hitler.
episode, man. Yeah,
Yeah, fucking Hitler has like an armada and shit. Crazy.
and lemons are like a resource that are running out.
dang. It's like
Yeah,
one
I mean, kind
dude.
of like
Oh,
being
you
on a ship, like you trying to fight like scurvy and shit.
you know what? You can go
Fucking
even
food.
crazier with that, right? Like his addiction is like drinks, and like he loves drinks so much, so he forces these kids to make drinks, and they only make like, and it's like futuristic lemonade stands because they only make like 50 cents, just like ordinary lemonade stands, and that's the only thing they can provide for their family. Jesus Christ, I'm getting sad. Wow,
Mm.
that's crazy. But yeah, that could be interesting.
Facts. What about you, Tom?
For me, I was thinking like some like a civilized city, like underneath the like water or some shit, and like I
Like
don't
a
know, like a
country?
creature, like yeah, like a creature from space, from like a meteorite or something like had crashed into like the I don't know the water and somehow found its way down where the civilization was, and it just manifests into something else, entirely. Like
Like
it could trans
he's like Godzilla polluting the water or something.
It's like
or
Space Cthulhu just
or
coming
or it's like a
down.
humanoid, or it's like a humanoid form of a shapeshifter. You know what I mean? Like it can shapeshift into like any
Oh,
person.
so it's like the thing is coming
I
down, and
think
you got
it's
to figure out who it is.
something like that, but like with a twist to it. Like it blends in perfectly to the point where it doesn't just kill multiple people. It kills like
Mm.
Like one thing, and then it does that one thing really well.
it does that one thing really well, and like it
It makes it better
it plays
almost.
it basically plays the role of the person. You know what I mean? And like it goes throughout your days and your lifetime and
Also, it's like it
until it
actually becomes you. Like it's not playing. Like it actually becomes you. Is that what
yeah
you're saying?
Mm.
Okay.
yeah it'd be dope to me.
That would be dope, man. I really like science fiction, like the science fiction drama, but like
Y'all
Sally
seen
ain't
that new
really
Twilight Zone?
many. I ain't never really watched it, but Sally's not really many like sci-fi anime, or at least really like any top tier good ones. A lot of it's like fantasy and stuff.
Right.
Mm.
But yeah, if y'all can't think of anything else, we can head out.
All right. Yeah. I'm out of them.
Yeah, man, we talked about everything. That was a great stream.
Hell yeah.
If anybody in the chat want to give an idea real quick, they can, or they can. For anybody watching, you could after the stream is up in the comment section, you can give some ideas, some dark series that you like, uh, or some ideas for a dark series you could write. So yeah, man, check out the Discord. Check out all these dudes' channels, man. They produce great content, great anime content. So yeah, at me on Twitter, Fresh2006. That's my Twitter. I also got another channel called Fresh2000. So yeah, man. Peace, like, subscribe, all out, and stay tuned with Chevy for the One Piece content as well.
Hey.
Peace.
Oh
Peace.
yeah. So when we doing that, like an
Peace.
hour